Chapter 3 is Truman Finds Trouble. I wasn't the only one learning how to foster a pet. Mom and Dad were learning too. Every day brought new lessons. Oh, Truman, Mom said, looking sadly at her ripped book bag. You found trouble. Oh, Truman, Dad said, looking at a chewed shoe. You found trouble. Oh, Truman and Ollie, I said, looking at a torn, empty box of dog treats. You found trouble. I gave both dogs' bellies a quick rub. Well, at least you two are happy. Dad, Mom, and I quickly learned our lessons. When we couldn't watch Truman, we put him in his crate. We made sure that there was nothing he could rip or chew on the floor. Unlike short little Ollie, Truman could reach the countertop when he stood on his hind legs, so we cleared off everything. Our daily routine went like this. In the morning, before Dad took me to school, I fed Ollie and Truman. After school, Mom and I took
I'm
Truman.
not doing anything. Cam's drinking water. 1 second.
Mom and I took Truman for a walk. During homework time, Ollie slept on one side of me, Truman slept on the other. After dinner, we played. At bedtime, when Dad read a story to me, Ollie and Truman listened too. The 5 of us were a happy, furry foster family. A couple weeks later, Mom and I came home to a big surprise. Yip, yip, yip. Ollie greeted us at the door like he always did, but then, woof, woof. Truman, how did you get out of your crate? I asked. Maybe I forgot to close the gate, Mom said. Woof, woof. Truman rose on his hind legs and licked my face. I laughed and gently pushed him away. After I did that, my hand felt sticky. Why? Before I could figure that out, Ollie ran into the other room. He usually followed me when I got home. Something wasn't right. Truman wagged his tail. I saw a yogurt lid stuck to his back. The fur on his head looked matted and oily. Someone had found trouble. Mom, I said, looking around, my eyes wide. Oh my goodness, Mom cried. What is all of this? The trash can was tipped over. Dirty wrappers, broken eggshells, banana peels, and other trash covered the kitchen floor. Truman nudged my legs. Potato chip crumbs dusted his nose. Ew, you stink, I cried. Truman's tongue hung out like he was smiling and pleased with himself. He ran to the middle of the floor and rolled around in the trash, back and forth. The eggshells crunched. He slid on the banana peels. He waved all 4 paws in the air. He sure was a happy dog. Oh, Truman, Mom said, you found trouble. You need a bath. I hurried to the bathroom and filled the tub with warm water. When Truman heard the water running, he ran into my room. He tried to hide under the bed. He did not want a bath. Ollie poked his nose into my room. He smelled Truman, backed up and ran down the hall. I didn't blame him. Truman was stinking up my room fast. Truman, it's okay. We just want to get you cleaned up, I said. Baths are fun. I talked in a calm voice while Mom hooked his leash to his collar. We walked Truman to the bathroom, and he sat down in the doorway. That was it. He wouldn't go any farther. Mom pulled, and I pushed. The dog would not move. I don't get it, I thought Truman would like water because he's part Labrador Retriever, I said. Every dog is different, Mom said. That's when I got an idea. I ran to Truman's crate and got his rubber ducky. Holding the toy over his head, I said, Truman, get your ducky. I tossed it into the tub. Splash! Truman's ears perked up. He leaped. Splash! Truman was in the tub. Mom and I quickly soaped him up. He sat still with his toy in his mouth. We scrubbed, we rubbed, we rinsed. Soon Truman was clean again. He jumped out of the tub. Shake, shake, shake. He shook the water from his fur. Now Mom and I were all wet. We started laughing. You're a good dog, Truman, I said, hugging him. We can do another chapter today. Old friends, new friends. Ollie, Truman, and I had great fun together. We loved to go on walks and play fetch. The 3 of us made a good team. I started to wonder if my family could be Truman's forever home. One day my best friend Hannah came over. She liked Ollie a lot, but she was nervous to meet Truman. Some people are scared of big dogs. Don't worry, he's one terrific dog, I said to her. Hannah and I went to my room. Yip, yip, yip. Ollie loved Hannah. He wiggled and squirmed like a puppy in her lap. I ran to my parents' room and got Truman from his crate. He barked and licked my face. Woof, woof. Before I could stop him, he ran down the hall toward my room. Truman, wait for me, I laughed. When Truman got to my room, he stopped in the doorway. He saw Hannah sitting on my bed. He did not go in. I walked past him and sat next to Hannah and Ollie. Truman stood and looked at us for a long time. He wagged his tail, but he stayed in the hall. It's okay, Truman, I said. This is Hannah. She's my best friend. Truman sat down. Look, Ollie loves Hannah, I said. Ollie wagged his tail and licked Hannah's face. Truman slowly stepped into my room. He crept to my side and stuck close to my leg, away from Hannah. He kept watching her. He can be shy with new people, I said. It takes a little time for him to feel safe. I remembered when Truman first met my family. Truman, I want to be your friend, Hannah said. Do you want to be mine? She held her hand out, palm up, and she stayed very still. Truman carefully leaned across. He sniffed her hand. Hannah smiled, and Truman thumped his tail. Good boy, she said. Woof, woof. Truman licked Hannah's hand. She giggled. Truman, you are a terrific dog, she said. I told you, I said. I was so glad all four of us were friends now. We grabbed some toys and went to the backyard to play. Kada, you really like Truman, don't you? Hannah asked. I do. He's the perfect fit for my family. Hannah smiled, but she looked a little sad too. Too bad he can't stay here forever. It's going to be hard to say goodbye. I didn't want to think about that. Dad made my favorite dinner that night. Hamburgers with fried eggs. Right after we sat down at the table, Mom said, Guess what? What? I asked. Joss called me today. She might have a family for Truman, she said with a smile. That's great, Dad said. I looked down at the floor. On one side of my chair was Ollie. On the other side was Truman. What would it be like when Truman wasn't here anymore? I felt a tug in my heart and a lump in my throat. So what happens next? I asked. I leaned down and patted Truman's head. I rubbed his ears. Joss will make sure the family is good for Truman, Mom said. After that, the family will call me or your dad. They'll ask questions about Truman and we'll tell them everything about him. If they think he sounds like the right dog for them, they will come to our house to meet him. Be sure to tell them he needs to be crated, I said. Tell them he eats things that are not food, like trash and blankets. Remember what he did to your book bag and Dad's shoe? Remember the mess in my room? Yes, we will tell them the truth about Truman, Dad said. We want Truman to find his forever home. Be sure to tell them he doesn't like baths. Tell them he's shy with new people. Oh, I think I know what Kata's doing, huh? Those were all the negative things about Truman to tell the family, so maybe they wouldn't want him. Mom put down her hamburger and looked at me. We will also be sure to tell them all the terrific things about him, too. He loves other dogs. He knows how to sit, come, stay, and lie down. Hi, Oliver. He plays fetch and is very loving. Are you sad about Truman leaving, Katie? Are you sad about Truman leaving, Kada? Dad asked. I didn't feel like eating anymore. Even if it was my favorite dinner, I looked down at my plate and nodded. Honey, we talked about this, remember? Mom said. I know, said Truman. I said, Truman's just so... By fostering, we are helping a lot of animals instead of just one or two that we would be able to adopt, Mom continued. Dad reached over and rubbed my shoulder. I know it's tough, Kada, he said. You've done a great job with Truman. He's had a safe, loving home away from home with us. We taught him good manners. We also learned what makes him special so we can help him find a good match with a family. Mom's eyes got a little wet. She smiled and said, No matter what happens, Truman will always have a place in your heart. He'll have one in your dad's heart and my heart, too. I knew all of this. Of course, I wanted to help animals, but I had fallen in love with Truman. How could I say goodbye? So that's where we will stop today.